Call us, email us, tweet, or Facebook us. 3 little words, two-way television.
We're back looking at the global challenge to battle corruption. But what happens when that fight gets intensely personal? We take you to one new Canadian family for that answer. How badly can corruption affect innocent people? Just ask this family, who we still cannot name after knowing them for 4 years of Canadian life. This is no ordinary hug. I've watched this little girl, whose face we cannot show on television, come through quite a trauma. She was targeted to be kidnapped when she was just 2.5 years old.
We are called every day. One day, these bad guys come to me. They kill me. It's not only this. They come for my daughter. They kidnap my daughter for money. And they come to my church.
Nowhere was safe for this family. Even today, we cannot tell you the country they have fled from for fear of recriminations. You'd think they'd had a scurrilous background or were doing illegal activities. Far from it.
We are professionals. My husband has a PhD in psychology.
They had a passion to use that education to help teenagers with learning disabilities.
I am an engineer. We have 12 offices around the country. We had 72 employees before everything changed in our life.
Corruption hit them when their own staff saw an opportunity to exploit parents needing the service. Employees stole intellectual property, changed one letter in the franchise name, and skyrocketed prices. For these owners, it was business theft.
We want to do the things in the right way. We went to the police to report that someone was stealing our things, but they said that we need to pay extra money to start investigations.
That was crossing the line for this couple who had never paid bribes before. They expected their taxes should give them police protection. Still, the danger of employees stealing more of the business continued.
They started blackmailing and threatening our lives. They came to our house 2 times when I was by myself, pregnant with a baby, trying to make us afraid. And I called the police. The police never come.
It became clear safety was going to require a cash payment.
We are not going to get protection if we don't pay bribes. And we start getting really anxious and afraid. Every time he left the house, I was afraid that maybe he's not coming back.
They were upstanding, tax-paying citizens, employing a workforce of dozens of psychologists and professionals who help troubled families do better in life. Now their own journey became a nightmare.
They were the good people and we were the bad people.
They turned to God for help.
I pray a lot because we are under persecution.
With offices in every major city of their country, danger increased, and they decided they had to flee.
When we decide to leave the country, when we decide to come to Canada, the only thing that we had in our minds was that God was with us and that He's going to protect us. We were not sure what we were going to do. We really came here blind.
We still cannot give you the name of this couple for fear of their safety. We first met them 4 years ago. It was just 20 days after they had crossed into Canada with only $40, and they were at Micah House, a refugee shelter, a place where they now volunteer helping others like them.
Corruption is not the cause for a refugee, because in that case, all the country can come here and ask for refugee.
Because corruption had put their lives at risk, their refugee status was recently approved.
In Canada, maybe many people don't understand what's happening in this country. Nothing happened. If you don't pay money, this country is very different. You have very clear rules here. And we believe in Canada. We believe in the government. We believe in the rules here.
In the 4 years they waited to be welcomed to citizenship, he's deployed his psychology degree to become a volunteer of the year at a Canadian hospital. Now he's applying to get a postdoctorate fellowship to retrain so his qualifications are accepted here. A car is a long way off for this family, but the bike gets him to the factory job. This mom volunteered and worked at Context TV and now has her own job in media. Through all the transitions of fighting corruption, she saw two agendas at work.
The devil came to steal, kill, and destroy. Maybe they steal your money, they steal your plans, maybe the company, our peace, but they didn't steal our faith. Without God, maybe we were not going to be here. He promised us to give us a future and a hope.
How sharp is sharp when it comes to having our conscience determine right and wrong? Some insight into that when we return. But first, some words from Micah Challenge leader Joel Edwards on why fighting corruption requires a global movement. So how are you going to get involved?
Now, our aim is to see the global Christian community initiating a campaign in which anybody and everybody within civil society can be a part of a movement which basically says something must be done about this issue of corruption, and the Christian community globally feel that we have a responsibility as citizens to respond to corruption in our world. Exposed wants to shine a light on corruption in order to see change come, locally, regionally, and internationally.
We want you to be a part of our studio audience. If you're in the Toronto area, contact us. We've got a seat with your name on it.
When I told my friend who you just saw featured that a global Christian movement was out to tackle corruption, she laughed and said, well, that would be David against Goliath. Corruption is the giant that has grown up around us. We've shifted from obeying the rules. Now the premium is don't get caught. I'm of the belief that we have a God-given understanding of right and wrong. In the New Testament, the teacher Paul wrote to a Roman community whose own corruption would dissolve its society. Apostle Paul said the law of right and wrong isn't always written on paper, but in human hearts, and our conscience is fueled by that. The heart as our guide is a tricky thing. Scripture says we should do our best to help each other on that, as iron sharpens iron, is how Proverbs put it. Well, that sounds like strength to me, and we've posted 10 ideas for what that might look like for our own lives, for our workplace, and it's all on the website. Sooner or later, each of us has a chance to encounter our own response to cheating, corruption, stealing. May our conscience care enough to respond. For all of us, I'm Lorna Dueck. Thanks for watching, and join us next week as we explore life beyond the headlines.